Welcome to ClusterCast, going it alone together. I'm Kevin, founder of the Cluster co-working and event space in Summertown, mostly winging it with enthusiasm, questionable choices and industrial strength imposter syndrome. After starting my business solo, the advice of other going it alone entrepreneurs kept me sane, so I'm chatting to Oxford's indie business heroes. It's cheaper than therapy and far more fun. Join me as we trade stories, compare battle scars, and revel in the joyful chaos of building something from nothing, together, even when we pretend we're doing it alone. So it is now episode 3 of the ClusterCast. I love that I just looked at the screen to remember what my podcast was called. And
Nice.
We have had 2 guests now, and we now have Lizzie from Jericho Coffee Traders. And Lizzie and I have known each other for, a year and a half, maybe,
Is it really?
slightly less.
When did I first meet you?
Funny enough, that's exactly what I was about to ask you.
Okay.
So tell us a bit about how we met, 'cause I think it's quite an interesting, unusual story, because it started when I first set up the cluster.
Yeah, so I got an email out of the blue from
Which
someone,
you kindly replied to.
which I did reply. Not everyone replied, did they? Because
No.
you sent it to basically
Everyone.
everyone in Oxford. Anyone who makes coffee in Oxford.
Yeah.
Then sent an email to.
Yeah, they were.
To come and look at this amazing new space. So we came and looked at this amazing space, which was an old slaughterhouse. Obviously, you know that.
So I don't think I've mentioned
that
that actually before. This used to be an old slaughterhouse. So yeah, but it hasn't slaughtered any animals for quite some time. Just
no
to be clear.
animals were slaughtered in the process of making this podcast.
No.
And we just looked around the space because there was potential, but maybe I was about to say potentially
That's all right.
for running a coffee outlet as part of the co-working space that Kevin has, that you have.
Yeah.
And then I went, I really like Kevin. I want to be his friend, but I can't make coffee for you.
So basically, I sent an email out fishing for a friend, effectively.
Yeah.
But no, it was really lovely because I was here on my own. I just set up the cluster. There was stuff everywhere. I was still decorating. Well, I say I was still decorating. The decorator was still decorating. I think the scaffolding might have even still been up.
Had you even set up the cluster?
No, I don't think it even had a name.
You hadn't named it.
It had many names.
You were
before.
going, I might do this. I might set up a co-working space.
I mean, it had many names.
Yeah.
Some really weird ones, which I'll put on Instagram for people. But so you came along with James, your husband, and you both run Jericho Coffee Traders.
Yeah.
And we're going to dig a bit more into that and how that came about, if that's okay. Really, this podcast is me meeting friends and also chatting to them about their businesses and how it started. So I'm really interested to find out, with regards to JCT, which is it okay to call it that?
Everyone who knows calls it JCT,
Great,
so that's
perfect.
fine. Except for on sat navs, if you say to someone on
it's JCB,
on a WhatsApp, if you say on a WhatsApp, meet you at JCT, and then it reads it out on the car, on the car play, it says, I will meet you at junction.
Wow. I thought it might say Jakarta.
No, but it just says junction because that's like the shorthand for junction.
Maybe you should change the name of your coffee shop.
No, but I thought if we ever set it up in a different country, like in New Zealand, we could
call
it
Coffee
junction
Traders.
because it represents a junction in our lives, or I don't know.
I quite like that.
Anyway.
So tell us a bit about how Jericho Coffee Traders happened, because it's been around a fair amount of time now, and it's a bit of an institution in Oxford. So
that's lovely. I mean,
True.
I'm still blown away by the fact that people know it. So quite often, I'll start from the beginning.
Please do.
James and I are both professional musicians. So we met at the Royal College of Music in 2004-05.
Yeah.
I was doing an undergraduate there. I was doing saxophone and singing, and James was doing singing. And we met, and we eventually got together in 2006. And fast forward, whenever it was, we were living in Winchester, and James was doing some gardening, as you do. He was singing in the cathedral and doing some gardening on the side, and he drove past one of the gardens he was working in and saw this 3-wheeled Vespa, like a sort of tuk-tuk type thing, but it's called a Vespa Ape.
Okay.
Piaggio Ape.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It was a sort of yellowy colour.
They're really pretty.
And we'd always talked about like having a cafe, so we'd talk about like maybe having some sort of cool Routemaster bus in Winchester Cathedral Close and putting a cafe on it. Or, we had all these dreams
really cool.
just because we were both we both loved singing, but we were also really we loved the idea of hospitality, and we just used to drink coffee together all the time, which I'll talk about later as well, because it ties in with stuff. Anyway, this is really long-winded.
No, it's not long-winded. I love it.
Cut all of this.
No. We won't cut any of it, sorry.
So he saw this Vespa Ape and just thought, oh, that's an opportunity. I wonder if I could put my gardening tools on that. Like, what can I do with this? And he knocked on the door and said, excuse me, I can't do a New Zealand accent. G'day,
Try
mate.
it's funny.
G'day, mate. Do you want this Vespa? That sounded South
Wow.
African.
So just sorry to interrupt. So, because what's really interesting about your story is this, I'm hearing this a lot from I've interviewed Hannah and Jason, And both of them have come to the role in a really, or the business in a really unusual way. So, you know, Hannah was having a baby and then she needed somewhere to go. She went to a float centre. Jason was also a musician and signed to Universal. And
wow.
I know, and had an actual band and things like that. And then he just got himself into the pit. And then I love the fact that James just off his own back decided to go and knock on a door and just, I mean, that is James all over.
That is literally James.
Yeah.
If most people won't know James, but if you know him, you're like, yeah, classic James.
So picking it up, he went to the door and this person was like, who the hell are you?
Yeah, weirdo. Weird New Zealand guy, alert. But they said, actually, it's my son's Vespa and he doesn't really want it. So do you want it for like...
Because all our sons have Vespa. I don't know the children, but all our sons have Vespas.
Yeah, obviously all of them.
Do you want it? No money?
No. He said, oh, you can have it for a few £100. And James was like,
wow, yes, all right.
Okay.
I'll take it now.
Bought it. And
that backfired.
Yeah, wait. No. So then it sat in the Winchester Cathedral Close doing nothing for like a year. And then a couple of years later, we moved to Oxford because James is a man of many talents and is also a rowing coach. So he had been booked to coach rowing in Oxford. So we got married and we moved our lives to Oxford. God. About a year after living in Oxford, we moved the Vespa over. And then we were still a bit like, oh, what do we do with this? And we were living with a wonderful guy called Gaz, who was a natural trumpeter. He plays like a very old school trumpet. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. And it's like it's more used in like Baroque music. Yeah. Like I did a little bit of work with him, but he used to be a barista in Dunedin, where he comes from in New Zealand. And he and James just decided to put a coffee machine on the back of this Vespa.
He met another Kiwi just by chance?
They've been friends for a while. I think if you're from the South Island of New Zealand, like all musicians...
You're all going to bump into
each other. Everyone knows everyone. Yeah, okay. So they knew him. He used to play in the New Zealand Army Band, which is pretty cool.
Wow, that is cool.
He's an amazing trumpeter. And yeah, so they started this together and called it Pūkeko Coffee at the beginning. And a Pūkeko is a New Zealand bird.
Which I don't think a lot of people will know that.
No. Everyone thinks it says puke.
It's a good pub quiz answer. Actually.
Yeah, it's a New Zealand...
Pūkeko. Yeah, no, not Pūkeko. Or Pūkeko.
I don't know, but yeah, it's Pūkeko.
Pūkeko.
And they're really beautiful birds. Yeah. But so our logo now is still, you can see a bird. If you see a bird in the logo, it's a Pūkeko.
And I've got one on my laptop because you've got stickers
you got
of
two?
them. Yeah.
You got
I knew nothing about Pūkeko until I met Lizzie and James and went to Jericho Coffee Traders.
It's slightly niche. But anyway, so they called it Pūkeko Coffee, spent a couple of years making coffee on the Magdalen Bridge, very iconic, and then outside the Radcliffe Camera. And
at that point, you weren't roasting coffee?
No, at that point, we were buying coffee from some independents around Oxfordshire.
We like that.
And yeah, that was nice. But then James kind of got the feeling that actually he was slightly not getting the freshest coffee that he wanted, and felt like he wanted to roast his own. He just wanted to be more in control and was really excited about it. So he bought himself a 1 kg roaster and put the roaster and parked the Vespa in a little barn in a lovely place in Oxford called Jericho, which is quite a posh
Oh yeah, I didn't know it was in a barn. I knew it was in Jericho, but I didn't know it was in a barn.
It was just in a garage outside a curry house.
I love that.
It was not. I was pregnant. Eventually I was pregnant. At some point I was pregnant, and I remember because there wasn't a toilet in this barn, so that was.
Whoa, that's not ideal.
That was fun.
That is not ideal for a pregnant woman.
It's really complicated the way it all started. Actually,
well, no, it's actually not. Really... I mean, it's really no. I love it, and it's all, what I really like about it is, like with other people that I've spoken to, it's all quite organic, and it's kind of because you saw something, which was the I was going to say tuk-tuk. Sorry, it's not a tuk-tuk.
No, we say tuk-tuk in case people don't know what a Piaggio Vespa Ape is.
But they're much smaller. I think there was one in the Absolutely Fabulous film, the new Absolutely Fabulous film. It ended up in a swimming pool. Google it.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So, and then obviously one thing led to another, and you now roast, and you also have wholesale. You have quite a lot of interesting suppliers, hotels, subscription packages, and you have the roastery, which is amazing, by the way. So do go and check out the roastery.
Thank you. It's the reason. I just want to say that the reason we changed our name from Pūkeko Coffee is because too many people came up to the Vespa and said Puke Coffee, and in the Philippines, I think Pūkeko means something slightly different.
Right.
So we had to change the name, and because we were roasting in Jericho,
it made sense.
We called it Jericho Coffee Traders because James didn't want it to be coffee roasters because he felt that was too sort of general, and he liked traders because he has this spiel where he always says it conjures up images of the like East India Trading Company and like boat Hessian sacks and boats and sails and all this sort of stuff. So he quite liked the idea of trading rather than roasting.
I like it. I know you don't hear many people call their things traders, so I quite like that.
That's cool.
So we could talk for hours.
I know.
And I've got 4 cards.
Oh my
but I
gosh.
genuinely could talk to you for hours, especially as you're leaving me soon. But we'll come back to that. So if you could go back to the very start, which by the sounds of it was when you were both singing and you were in Winchester, if you could go back to the very start of Jericho Coffee Traders as a couple, I guess at this point, I mean, James isn't here to speak for himself, but you are representing him. What would you tell your slightly younger, sort of enthusiastic self about starting a business? What would you say? What's the one piece of advice you'd give yourself?
I'd probably say don't start too big.
Okay.
I bet everyone says that.
No, they haven't. No, that's
really?
the first person that said that, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to go, we're going to have this and we're going to have that and it's going to be amazing. And actually, so after having the Vespa, James was coaching rowing for Oriel College.
Gosh.
And they said, do you want to run a little pop-up cafe on King Edward Street in a little, it's quite a big building that used to be Baby Love nightclub, if any of you remember Baby Love nightclub.
Baby Love. Oh,
there we go. It had a pole.
And it had a glass.
And a glass roof.
Yeah.
Not a glass ceiling.
Yeah.
Glass roof. So we did start small, and actually it was fine. We were expecting to serve a few people a day.
Wow.
And make some coffee and just sort of learn a lot. We put cable reel tables in. We had
Brilliant.
no money. We had about
Love
£1,000 to furnish the entire place. We put cable reel tables in. We had a bar made of IKEA, quite a nice coffee machine.
Yeah.
That was it. And it just became more popular than we realised. And then we were able to grow because we had people through the door and started making a name for ourselves. And then we were roasting by that stage. And someone from a cafe up the road, a restaurant, came in and said, look, all my staff are walking past our lovely machine to go to your shop. Can I start using your coffee in our restaurant? And that's how the whole sale started.
I thought that was going to end in, can you please close your shop?
No, it ended in, we could be a wholesale, we could roast for cafes and get a bigger roaster. No
one as of yet has said that, and I think that is amazing advice, because I think ambition sort of drives you to go big. And I think it's really important. Same with the cluster, we started quite small, and then I gradually added this, gradually added that. And I think you get to learn what works and what doesn't work. So no, I think that's really good advice.
However, there is just one other thing I would say, and that is, start small. Don't invest too much money, especially if you don't have it. But I would say make sure that you sort of know what you want to offer from the beginning. Because quite often people go in and it all looks a bit sloppy because they're learning on the job. And actually, a customer doesn't want that. No. A customer wants to know
what they're getting,
what you've got on offer. If you go into a restaurant and they've got one menu and you go in the week after and they're like, that didn't work, so we're doing this. I don't think that
consistency.
Works.
They want consistency.
They want consistency. It needs to look good from the beginning. Yeah. Despite the cable reel.
No, but you can make stuff look good. I mean, I've done shabby chic, not so much now.
No, this is very posh.
Thank you.
In here. I love this place.
So what does a really good day look like for Jericho Coffee Traders? And sort of on the other side of that, what does a really, not a really bad day, but a day that you'd struggle? There's many things, but...
Do you mean... You don't mean like...
What makes you feel good? No, what
do you
sort
mean
of...
me personally?
Yeah, well, both of you. And what makes you... What drives you on a specific day when you wake up and think... And then something good happens. Like we've had people talk about clients, and then the flip side of that is also clients are difficult. Jason's talked about sort of interacting with people. So what is it that makes a good day for Jericho Coffee Traders and for you personally?
A good day would be knowing that James and I were both sort of driving to help a client, like maybe dial in their coffee or like put our coffee into their machine and make coffee and talk to the client about it. Yeah. Not so much pitching, because I'm not a very corporate type person, but a really good day would be James and I like maybe making a sale or talking to someone and then them saying, I want to use your coffee. Yeah.
Well, because they're really buying, because we say this all the time, people buy from people, right? So, and also they're buying into your product, which is effectively your baby, right? So that's your bread and butter.
It's a very personal thing. It can get quite, I get very emotional. I'm quite an emotional person. Like I'm a musician as well. So, for me, my voice is so like, if my voice isn't working, I'm sad. I'm very sad, So but it's the same with our coffee. If something doesn't work, I take it all very personally, which I probably would suggest try not to do that.
Yeah, although that's probably what makes your business, pushes it forward and helps drive it forward, because you care, right? I mean, if you were just a massive corporate, so the fact that you're investing in what people are saying about it. Yes, you know what your product is and you know it's good, and that's been borne out by the fact that you've got sales and even the Meat Point coffee, they use your beans, but it's their blend. So yeah, and and you're scattered quite far and wide. So, and on the flip side of that, would the opposite be when people aren't so engaging, or is there other things that are bad, like when you had a blocked toilet?
Oh, well, Kevin, you've been not literally, but you've been with me through a lot of the blocked toilet.
And it wasn't me.
It wasn't Kevin. It wasn't me either.
If you know who
we're
you
about
are.
to start talking about your chat with the lady 2 weeks ago. It's a
Waffle
similar
stomp.
thing.
Yeah.
Wow. No. So that's a real low point is spending £2,000 with Dynarod when actually the issue with the toilet was actually
entirely different.
something to do with our building. So that just is so soul destroying when you're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
My worst thing for me is when I can't physically fix the problem
Yourself.
but it's kind of my problem.
Yeah.
Or, and I just think managing staff as well and just trying to make everyone happy, keeping the morale up in the roastery, like making sure that everyone is doing what they want to be doing. That's I found that quite hard to manage at the beginning. I didn't realize that I was a people manager type person, and I think I'm probably not, but
I mean, I'm only
trying.
nodding. I'm only nodding because I don't have any staff yet, but I'm only nodding because I can see how difficult it is to balance, to balance everybody's requirements and their intricacies and their foibles. And so that is hard. And I think you have a really nice atmosphere at your high street cafe, at all of your places. There's a really nice atmosphere when you walk in, and you can sense that from the people that are buying coffee as well. So.
I love it. I love going.
Plus,
to the
everybody's
high
got
street.
coffee, so once you've got a coffee, generally you're happier.
Yeah, that's true. But the high street's changed a lot over the years, actually. And like, I mean, I do sing. I sing with lots of people sort of weekly, and then sometimes if I meet someone new who's a singer, and they're like, "What do you do?" and I'm like, "Oh, I sing, and I also run a coffee business." If they've been anywhere near Oxford, most of them have been there. And then they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's like a celebrity." And I'm like, "That's weird."
About you?
Well, just the fact that...
I love that. No one does that to me.
But I guess it is,
well, you're representing a very solid sort of Oxford brand. And that's what we're here, that's what I'm here to talk about, is all these really strong, independent brands that people are running. And they're all most of these people are based in Oxford or Oxfordshire, if they don't live in Oxford, because we can't, all afford that. But,
no.
It's... that's what we're here for.
And I can't believe it. And I love it. I love meeting other indies, especially. And I cannot believe how many Oxford indies there are.
So many. I mean, I'm hoping to have a gazillion episodes. So the next one's a bit weird, if that's all right, the next question. So what's the strangest or most random thing you've ever Googled whilst building your business?
Oh, man.
I mean, there must be a gazillion things, because there is. I mean, I've Googled
but they're
everything.
Not strange. Gosh, that's quite boring.
Well, no, give me a boring one. I don't mind.
Most... sort of probably quite niche, and one that I probably should have known, and it made me realise that I need to look into it more, is like exactly, and I can't actually tell you the answer because I can't remember, but like how much caffeine is actually in like 20 grams of decaf coffee.
God. There's actually caffeine in decaf coffee?
Yeah. Not loads, guys. Not
Drop
loads,
the mic.
But like you can't get rid of all of it.
Okay.
Probably at 0.
Most people will know that, though. Most people will know that. I mean, what I mean is, if people are going to get decaf coffee, they'll know that it's not entirely decaf.
I always have to say to people, like, there probably is a little bit of caffeine in this,
Yeah, but
because of the different ways that they extract the caffeine from the coffee beans, which involves, there's like a sugarcane process, there's a sparkling water method, like it's all quite funky, but there must be some caffeine left.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Google it. Let's see what comes up. Maybe just start it and see what it says. Say how much is. You know how it finishes. See what's the top search.
Yeah.
So no, that's not.
No, so that's much more boring.
That's quite
than
tame. No, but it's good. But I love the fact you Googled it and you still can't remember. So maybe look it up again.
Yeah. That makes me look like a really bad.
It doesn't at all.
Now.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. So, everyone that the two people I've been chatting to already on the ClusterCast have a sort of a ritual that they might have on a daily basis. And I don't necessarily mean it has to be something holistic. It's just they do something which helps them stay sort of sane and, well, vaguely sane and sort of grounded. Is there anything that you might do as a busy businesswoman on a daily basis? Well, we all slip, but is there anything that you try to do?
Yeah, have a coffee.
Okay, perfect.
I know that sounds so stupid,
yep.
But like for James and I, when we've done when we've done our school drop-off, our son goes to school relatively near our work, which is really nice. And so we walk to the school, and then when we're together, we walk together to the roastery and we sit down at the table. And even if there are a million things to do, we will make a coffee and sit down and just have a coffee together.
It's like
if
a
we're
moment's
together.
pause, isn't it?
I even did it.
Yeah.
Was it today? Even today, when I picked up the Hessian Sachs for you,
Yeah.
I literally had to sit down and have a coffee.
I think for a lot of people, it's not just about drinking coffee. Obviously, it has an effect on our brains, but it's also that moment where you just go, "This is for me," or "This is for us." You know, we're going to have a coffee and we're going to interact. I think that's what you're selling. Otherwise,
It's so
people would just go
exciting.
to a vending machine. You know, what they want is that community, or they want the silence with their headphones in and their moment.
But it's a product. It's not like I love coffee.
Mm.
I don't love coffee as in like it's the most delicious thing in the world, although obviously our coffee is.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
It's great. It's
No,
very
it's good.
varied, which I really like. And our whole sort of USP, I think, is trying to get everyone to like specialty coffee and
'Cause there's
not
so
for
many
people
different
to think
types.
it's a bit wanky
Yeah.
and, you know, it's for everyone.
There's
and,
so many different types.
and I'm really proud of that. And I think we do a good job with roasting.
Yeah.
And, but it's such an exciting thing to sit down and have a coffee brought to you. Well, I mean, anything in a restaurant.
Well, and also, especially when you go to a coffee shop and they know your blend, well, not your blend, but they know what you like. Because there's so many different types of coffees now. And I think that's really lovely when it's like when you're at a pub and somebody knows what you drink.
I know. And there are so many customers. I have made so many friends. That sounds awful. I don't mean because I'm really popular, but like we've just met so many lovely people.
Because of coffee.
Because of the roastery.
Yeah.
So we've got like Andrew and Jill who come in on their tandem, who are just beautiful people.
They sound amazing. They sound like Jack and Jill. And they sound like a nursery rhyme.
They kind of are.
Okay.
They're just beautiful. We go for dinner at their house all the time. And then there's like Tom Grieford from the architects next door. He comes in and has this big hot chocolate every day and we have a cuddle.
Oh, I love it.
And then there's my friends Matt and Jen. And
So it's everything that coffee brings. It's not just a drink that gives us a boost. Well, it gives us a boost in many ways, I suppose. So, yeah, no, I really like that.
It's such a social thing.
And I have coffee every day because I have my own cafe outside. Not provided
Your
by
own
me, but yeah.
No, it is handy having a cafe in
Right
the
on your
cluster.
doorstep.
That is amazing.
So for anyone that's listening, hopefully, someone, what would you say to somebody that wants to start up a business besides it's going to be hard and obviously what you've already said, which is, he's desperately trying to remember what you said now.
But it is quite
about
similar.
don't do too much,
It's
don't
quite
do too
similar
much.
to that
So
question.
what would you say to, anybody that wants to start up a business?
I would be very similar in my response to the
Question 2 or 3,
whatever it was.
Yeah.
But basically, the second thing I said, which was know what your product is going to be.
Yeah.
Know what you're going to offer.
Yeah.
Tinker around with it first. Learn how to make the most beautiful coffee in the world first. Don't employ people who don't know how to make coffee and train them up on the job.
Yeah.
Like even if that means opening a week later, people make a decision about stuff they have in cafes so quickly. If the first coffee that they have or the first product that they receive from this company arrives on time, and
it's beautifully
looks
packaged,
beautiful and works, like don't scrimp on that. I just think that the product is so important.
Yeah.
That's
good. I like that because I think I was saying to Hannah, I think when you start a business, your instinct is just to run, like do everything really quickly, really fast. You're ambitious, you're driven, and I think actually knowing what your product is and knowing how good it is, and also because I think then it's not selling. It's much easier just to present it and people want it. So. And also, Jericho Coffee Traders do amazing cups. They have a fantastic illustrator. I'm really sorry, I've forgotten her name.
She's called Louisa in the studio.
So you can catch her on Instagram, and their cups are beautiful, really beautiful.
Yeah, they've all got
almost like collector's items.
I think so, and also they're home compostable, like our Nespresso pods.
Yeah.
So you can, put holes in the bottom of them and grow nice plants in them. But basically, she's a beautiful designer. She's got the Radcam on there, on the latte cup.
The Pūkeko's on there.
Pūkeko's doing lots of different things, punting,
Vespa?
riding bikes.
You've got a Vespa on there? No, I don't know if you've got a Vespa.
There's also like Alice in Wonderland and obviously all of those connotations. Yeah, it's beautiful.
No, they're really lovely, really lovely.
We're very lucky to have her.
So we're kind of coming towards the end. You'll be pleased to hear, or not. I
actually
don't know,
quite enjoy it.
So I have a random question. And I've asked other people this, and I'm going to go back to the first one I asked just because I'm really intrigued, and I don't care if nobody else listens to this bit because I want to know.
Okay.
You've been out, you've had a drink, you do drink, I drink, you go to a kebab van, you may be a little worse for wears. Obviously, they don't sell good coffee, so don't get a coffee from them. But you ask for chips, cheese, beans.
Yeah.
Chips, cheese, beans, or chips, beans, cheese?
No, chips, cheese.
See, that's it. I wanted to always what chips, beans, cheese.
No.
Oh,
chips, cheese, and then beans on top.
Oh, no,
'Cause
that
the
is
cheese
controversial.
melts.
That's controversial. Yeah,
It's
but
the
you
same
want the
with a
cheese
jacket
melting on
potato.
top of the baked beans.
No.
Well, there you go. So
No.
that's what differentiates
It's like a
us.
jacket potato. It's got to be like butter, cheese, beans.
We both love coffee. We do not agree on this.
What about scones?
That's not on my.
I know,
cue
but what
cards.
about scones?
Well, there's Devon and Cornwall. I know
Which
I'm going
one?
to divide. It's always, well, I'm going to throw something into the mix. It's always butter as well, just because it's not buttery enough.
Mm-hmm.
Butter, jam, cream.
Ah!
What have I just done? Have I gone Cornwall? Have I gone Devon?
You've gone Cornwall.
I've gone
I'm
Cornwall.
from Devon, and I would say 100% scone, cream, jam.
No, because one's sticky and one will stick
Yeah,
onto
I
the
know,
bread
but
and
the
the cream
cream
will
is
fall
like the
off.
butter. Oh, I'm sorry,
So-
Cornish people.
Yeah, sorry. Well, we'll see what you serve at the. Do you serve scones?
No, but we should.
You should.
We should at the castle, actually, because,
Yeah.
that gets a lot of tourists.
So, thank you very much for coming on my podcast. We're going to post some posts. We're going to post some posts apparently about Jericho Coffee Traders, their different locations, maybe their new Nespresso pods, because I really like the
Home compostable.
Tolima Grande. Did I say it right?
Tolima Grande.
Tolima Grande, an amazing
You
pod,
can find that coffee at Le Manoir aux Quatre
which is currently
Saisons,
closed,
which
but
is
it will
about
be
to
open
close
soon,
for refurbishment.
and I can't afford to go there.
But they use our pods and they use that coffee in their espresso machines.
So yeah, and I'll see you when you're back from New Zealand.
No, not
But
going
yeah.
for very long, so,
No. So
it's
yeah.
fine. We'll be back soon.
But thank you very much.
Yay, it's been so lovely.
Thanks.
you.
Bye. Thanks for listening to ClusterCast. If you've enjoyed today's dose of entrepreneurial honesty and mild chaos, do stick around for more. You can find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, watch the episodes on our YouTube channel, or pop over to clusteroxford.co.uk for the full Cluster experience.